Okay, instead of titling the video that's now uploading at 36% right now, with 18 minutes remaining, so much for the quick uploads. Maybe the Mormon is still working his grave shift. I decided to do a whole video on what I talked about titling the other video on. So this is for the championship. Yeah, so I'm gonna place me against the church prophets, Mormons. Here we go. Southpaw. If you guys don't know Rocky, it was PG. All right, so I don't know how I'll exactly title it because it'll seem awkward if I don't word it right. If I am capable of doing everything that a prophet of the church, president of the church, is supposed to be doing but isn't doing, and here I am able to do exactly what they are supposed to be doing, do you understand what that means, Mormons? It means that the church isn't true. So yeah, it's the challenge. And I've already done it in the videos, so you know, you'd never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line. You build up a tolerance for iocane powder so that you will never lose in a contest. I have built up the tolerance to iocane powder of the Mormons, so I know I'm going to win. And so, sorry, Mormons, you are now faced with the reality. You are now placed at the higher level of learning, and you are now going to be held accountable by your God what you are going to do about it. So turn it off. Oh no, I gotta get around it. Sorry, Mormons, you can't just not listen and think that you're going to get away with it, but you can't. This is it. This is the final match, the final blow. And unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to keep on doing this if I don't word this title right. But yeah. So what is a prophet supposed to be doing and they're not? You know, there's stuff that I can't do because I'm poor, so I can't give of the church's money, the vast amounts of wealth that they have, just sitting around, earning 10%. You know, I can't spend that money, so that's out of the, that's not included. That's disqualifying as a condition. But I am the one who has developed the law of consecration and how it is supposed to work. So we can compare ideas, but without implementing mine, we'll never know. So that is out of the question. However, translation. Game, set, match. Again. Yes, Mormons. Brass plates have been found. Stick of Joseph has been found. I've translated them. Game, set, match. It's all over. The prophets are lying on the floor. It doesn't look like they're moving. Wait, one's twitching. Yeah. Prophets haven't done anything. They've had them in their possession this whole time. And they've done nothing with it. And so, in the theoretic or theological realm, guess what that means? It means God has given up on the prophets, turning around and coming unto God. And he has called someone else to make the translation that the prophets refuse. Huh, okay. So, yeah, if I have translated the brass plates, the stick of Joseph, that are readily available for anybody to have translated, Egyptologists, they could have done it. They think they've done it. It's not complete. Because I'm the one who made the discovery that it's the origin of the Bible. The Zeitgeist crew, they've figured out the gospel part, sort of. They still get confused into thinking that Jesus is Horus. They mess that up because they don't know Christian, they don't know Jewish theologies, and so they confuse them. Sort of like the Egyptologists who see the washing and anointing of Pharaoh scene and believe that that's the baptism of Pharaoh because, oh, Catholics sprinkle. No, that's not baptism, guys. But, yeah. So if I have translated the brass plates and the stick of Joseph, which are one and the same, because if you read the Book of Mormon, the stick of Joseph merged with the stick of Judah, that's the brass plates. So yes, they've been found, and I've translated them, and I've done the video to show it. So if that video is correct, then guess what that means, Mormons? That means the church is false. Sorry. Oops. The prophets that you looked to do that work failed. They were not hearkening to God, were they? And that means the church isn't true. It is not being led by inspiration and revelation. Because they didn't get revelation to make the translation. It's that simple. Game, set, match. I love tennis. Took a class and was doing very well until my tennis racket was stolen at Rick's College, Mormon school, and my tennis racket is stolen. Of course, it was a $200 tennis racket because remember, I was born up in white privilege. After I graduated from college, then I was cut off from my parents. And so no longer was I of privilege. And so as a result, that's who Utah goes after. You know, when there's an occasional black guy that pops up in Utah, he gets arrested. I just saw ABC News. They have a YouTube video about the most recent black guy that got arrested. And I have no idea if he's guilty of anything or not. Having gone through the experience here in Utah, I know that blacks are targeted more so than, well, not more so, well, per capita, because there's like 4% blacks here in Utah. Or is it 1%? And 4% are other than white. One of the two. So what do Utah Mormons do to generate more revenue by making arrests? Because they don't have enough ethnics. So who do they arrest? Well, you go after the poor. That's who they go after. The white poor. Those who are not privileged. And they go after the mentally ill. And they go after the disabled. Because you got to get them out of society. We got to cleanse this state of all impurities. So, but I digress. So yeah, it's that simple, Mormons. That's the challenge, and I've already shown you I've won. The prophets have failed to receive revelation to translate what was prophesied to be translated. You all have been waiting for the president of the church to get up in conference and announce, we have translated the stick of Joseph, we have merged it with the stick of Judah, and it is going to be made available for purchase. I've got it in a free video. See, I'm not doing priestcraft. I should put it in a book form, though, and have it on Amazon. But Amazon wants to get paid, and so I have to do the minimum amount of royalties in order to sell through Amazon. I try to have people go to my website to get the PDF digital copies for free, but nobody takes me up on that. A guy from Chile contacted me yesterday, and thanks to Google Translate, I was able to read what he was saying, that he wanted my Paleo-Hebrew work, and I pointed him to Amazon and said, if there's problems with that, here are the links to my website for the free download versions in the digital PDF format. So yeah, I have no problem giving away my stuff. Yes, I need to make money to live, but I don't. Remember, I've been privileged my whole growing up years, and then once I left college with a disapproving marriage, and they cut me off, and so I have not been privileged since. And so yeah, I'm used to not being privileged. You know, I'm used to struggling to survive and such, but I am a master at finance and budgeting, so I know when I need to get food versus when I can get research books or whatever I need to do what I love and want to work on, which is translation. And so yeah, we'll just do that one alone, because the others you'll never know unless I get to implement my plans. When I worked at Beehive Clothing, for example, I had an idea of how to redesign the warehouse to make it more productive. Because when I started, we had 7 of us working there in the warehouse, and it took us all day with the system that they had concluded with, because they said it's the best that we've come up with. Many have come up with ideas and they've never worked, and this is the best we could do, so don't even think about trying to change. Yeah, whatever. And so 7 people taking all day, still not finishing, having to catch up the next day, and thus over and over until Saturday we have to work overtime hours to get caught up for the week, so that we can start fresh the next week, to work overtime on Saturday again and again and again. And that was the process. That was work. And I designed a new system, and nobody wanted to implement it. Nobody wanted to try, because they've already had other people trying and they failed. This is the best we can do. And so it took the removal of the manager and the supervisor and an older co-worker. He wasn't old, he was young, but he'd been there a while. And it was, I think, his system that we were using. So it took those 3 guys to go. And then the new manager came in and said, oh, you know, all right, whatever. I had to do it by myself, and so it was taking too long. And so the managers then said, okay, let's get this done and over with. Okay. And we got it finished, and all we needed, after I got it finished, it was beyond my expectations. All we needed was just 2 people. And we, the 2 people, finish by 10 a.m. 4 hours to do what took overtime hours for 7 people. That's how good I am. And nobody wanted to try my idea because they knew better. And so new people came along who didn't know better and said, okay, yeah, whatever, go for it. And sure enough, those 5 extra people were panicked. We're going to lose our jobs. Ah! No, you're working for the church. They don't fire people unless you commit a serious crime or go against the church. and so they just transferred them to the distribution center because that's what they were going to do anyway. They just didn't know how to do it because they couldn't figure out a better system for the warehouse at Beehive Clothing. So yes, I was the answer to their prayers. So yeah, everything worked out for the best. Win-win. And everybody, you know, was coming to me saying, oh, you're the guy who redesigned the warehouse and it's running so much better now. Yeah, that's what I said in the beginning. So yeah, I had to adjust for the human factor. Human factor messes things up, and you have to figure out human behavior to get something like that in operation and effective. But as you can see, I was still able to figure out human behavior, because when it was first implemented, people were realizing, oh no, we're going to lose our jobs, and so they were going slower, purposely. So no, you don't need to do that, guys. Everything's fine. You're working for the church. Okay, so yeah, there it is. I have done it. I have translated the brass plates, the stick of Joseph. And I have merged them together, the stick of Joseph and the stick of Judah. And I know, and I haven't done it. I did one video to start with, but nobody was going to it to watch it, where I pointed out other features that were missing from the Bible. Because I know the source. So I know what's missing, because it's in the sources. So, yeah. So there you go, Mormons. Prove me wrong. Because if you prove me wrong, that means the church is still wrong. And it's not an ultimatum. It's just the way it ends up. Because if I'm right, the church is wrong, because they didn't come up with it. And if I'm wrong, then the church is wrong because they haven't come up with it. It's been around this whole time. So the church, they're dead. They're done. They're over. The game on is game over. So there's 20 minutes. We still have it's processing at 33, 3 minutes left. So yeah, I'll end this here at 20 minutes. And so there you go, Mormons. There's your challenge. I just got to figure out how to word it so that you guys come to this video. Because if we can get over 1,000, people will recognize, oh, 1,000 people are watching this. I'm going to want to see what's going on here. So I've got to figure out how to word it so that we can get thousands of people. Catch up to my 14,000 one. So those of you who are watching, spread the word, pass it along. Because I know it's only non-Mormons and ex-Mormons and former Mormons. So spread the word. Come on, guys. Help me out. You want the church destroyed, don't you? Help me out. Okay.